Hello, I'm coming to you today again with more dreams. But first, I'm going to read Ezekiel chapter 34, verses 1 through 13. Ezekiel chapter 34, verses 1 through 13. And the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus said the Most High unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. The disease have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. And they were scattered, because there is no shepherd, and they became meat to all the beasts of the field. When they were scattered, my sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Most High. As I live, said the Most High, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd, neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves, and fed not my flock. Therefore, O ye shepherds, hear the word of the Most High. Thus said the Most High, Behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more, for I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them. For thus said the Most High, Behold, I, even I, will both search my sheep, and seek them out. As a shepherd seeketh out his flock in the day that he is among his sheep that are scattered, so will I seek out my sheep, and will deliver them out of all places where they have been scattered in the cloudy and dark day. And I will bring them out from the people, and gather them from the countries, and will bring them to their own land, and feed them upon the mountains of Israel, by the rivers, and in all the inhabited places of the country. I read this scripture because it correlates with a few of the dreams. One of these dreams I wrote down, and I'm going to read through it. Okay, so what I can remember is myself and other people, I believe it was all men, sitting on the porch. And we were waiting for someone or some other people to come back where we were. And as we were waiting, I look up to the sky. And to my right, I saw a storm was coming. And the closer the storm got, it was really getting dark. I could see the storm, and it looked really bad. And the wind started to pick up. So I told the men that were on the porch with me, we need to go in quickly, like right now. Then I pointed up toward the sky to show them. So we got up and rushed in the house. And I said, we should go downstairs in the basement. So everyone started heading down there. And while they were down there waiting, I began to close and lock the windows to the house. And while I was at the windows, I looked out and I saw men running across the streets with surgical masks on with guns. A lot of them came out of nowhere. While they were running across the streets, I heard them yelling at people and telling them to put their hands up and be still and give them their money and other valuables. And I'm looking out like, oh my goodness. My heart started beating really fast because I thought they would try to come in this house we were in. But they happened to walk and run right toward the people who were already outside. So they went past this house that we were in because no one were outside on the porch. We went in. And it seemed as if they knew. It seems that these people who came with guns knew when the cops would arrive. because as soon as they heard the sirens, they began to move toward a different area to rob them too. They were going from area to area, or city to city, or country to country. When I heard the sirens, it was a relief for me. I exhaled because now these robbers couldn't come and get us. The Most High warned us of this destruction right before it came, just in the right time. As I could hear the robbers leaving our area, going to a different area, it seemed as if it was all planned out very skillfully. These men moved like in a military or police-like manner. These were not unskilled men. As they moved out of our area into another area, the men in the house and I were the that were in the house where I was at began to come up the stairs. I didn't even get a chance to go down there because I was watching what was going on outdoors. And so they began to come upstairs after the storm clouds passed and after these robbers, or whatever you want to call them, left the area. And so they came back upstairs and I told them what happened. And the men, they just went outside and sat back on the front porch and didn't ask any questions, didn't say anything, didn't do anything. So I happened to look outside through a side or back window of the house. So I'm still in the house and I look out the side or back window and I see there were other men, like maybe the citizens. They were lined up on the hill or mountain with guns in their hands, ready for war, just in case these robbers came back. They were ready. They were in this single file line with a lot of space in between them, ready for war if need be. It seemed as if civil war had begun while still implementing the coronavirus rules. And the ending of the dream showed everyone was standing around talking about how long their visas were good for. And they were all looking in their passports at the visa stamps. And I walked up and one of the men asked me if my visa stamp looked like any of theirs. And I said, no, it's different. And we all started discussing how long our visas were for. And I heard one of the men say theirs were for 1 year. And then I woke up. When I woke up, I realized the times had to be between spring and summer because everyone was outside relaxing on the porches. It seemed to be really warm. And it seemed to be around the time when this COVID-19 or coronavirus, or whatever you want to call it, the 5G virus was out, because it seemed like the civilians that were lined up with their weapons ready for war, they didn't have on the mask, but they did have that space in between them. And it seems like the robbers that came through, they had on those same surgical masks that everybody's been wearing. So this dream shows that. So that's not the ending of the dream. So another part of the dream showed, actually I woke up and I wrote down that part of the dream. And when I woke up, that happens to me a lot. I'll wake up, I'll write that part down, that half down, then I'll go back to sleep and then the dream will continue. So I went back to sleep and that same dream continued. When it continued, the man who we were waiting on that front porch happened to show up after all this happened. So he showed up and asking who wanted to go with him. And a lot of the men were saying, I'll go. So more than half of the men left the house we were at and went with this man. I can actually see them in a vision walking in single file line. It was 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. They were walking and they got in this car. And in the dream, I'm thinking, I wonder if they all can fit. Or I'm wondering if the rest didn't go because they couldn't fit in the car. And so I know there was 2 in the front and 2 in the back. So in this dream, something happened. I don't know what happened, but in the dream, those 4 men that left in that car perished. They were no longer to be. And one of the men who stayed back said, wow, he was so glad and happy how he didn't go because he wanted to go. He was going to go, but I think he was waiting on. I think he was washing clothes or he was doing something, so it made him stay back. And he was saying how grateful he was that he didn't go because he would have also perished. And then I woke up. So it shows that I have many dreams. How a lot of not only the pastors, so-called pastors and preachers and prophets that are in the Christian churches, but also the speakers and what we call the elders and the prophets within the awakened community are leading people straight to their demise, straight to destruction, straight to hell. This is another dream showing you have to be, in these times, you have to be very careful. You have to be careful of only the Most High's voice. At this time, if the Most High is telling you to do something or go somewhere, then do it. There's so many things that's about to take place. We as a people need to listen and heed the voice of the Most High. This is not the time for playing games and looking for mates and making babies and looking for careers and all these things. This is the time to seek him with all our hearts, and all our souls, all our minds, all our might, all our being, and our whole spirit. This is the time that we have to really trust in him, and him alone, and his son, Yeshua. This is the time. Because if not, we could be deceived. The very elect could be deceived. Please be careful. I have so many dreams from over the years of pastors and teachers and preachers and prophets leading people straight to the pits of hell. And the kids. Please seek him while he may be found. Knock on the door. He will answer. Ask him to show you your faults. Ask him to help you walk in his ways, in his judgments, his statutes, his precepts, his testimonies, his commandments, his laws. Just as David said in Psalm 119, oh, how he loves his statutes. Oh, how he loves his commandments and his laws. That's the way we should be today. I have another dream. And in this dream, I just had actually a few days ago. In this dream, me and a lot of people were up on a hill. We lived up on this hill. And we were out of the city. And but even though there were still like apartment buildings, but we were out of the city. We were up. And so we could look down and we could see the city. A lot of tall buildings, like how the buildings are in New York or in Paris. You know, all these tall buildings, or in California. And so we see all these tall buildings, and all of a sudden the buildings just begin to crumble. They started falling. There was no storm, no wind. You didn't see anything. All of a sudden they just started crumbling. They started hitting each other and falling out of nowhere, and the whole city was torn to destruction. It was desolate. And so today, I tell you, please follow what the Most High tell you to do. Seek him, his wisdom, his revelation. Ask him the interpretation. Read your word, pray, fast. And I thank you for listening. Shalom.